Hey everybody, how we doing today? I hope everybody's having a good Thursday. It's been a minute since we've been able to do a live stream, so thanks everybody for joining on with us today. We'll give everybody a few minutes here to join on. Let me just post back in the Facebook group here, see if we can pick up a few more people here to join in with us today. Alrighty, it's a bit annoying that so we used to always stream these to our directly in the Facebook group and on our YouTube channel at the same time. But unfortunately, Facebook made some changes that did not it doesn't allow you to stream into private Facebook groups like that anymore. So it is a bit more of a challenge to try to stream like that. So for right now, we're streaming just on YouTube. We might do some direct streams in Facebook in the future because it seems like it's a little bit harder for people to find the live stream since we've been doing them just directly in YouTube. Um, so anyway, while people are coming in here, if you guys could leave a comment, let me know that everything's working okay, that you can hear me and see me, and we'll get started here momentarily. Michelle says, all good, awesome, good to go. Awesome. Thanks for joining in, everybody. Okay, so as I had mentioned, today we're going to do something a little bit different than we usually do. I know it's been, like I said, it's been a minute since we've been able to do a live stream. It's been a few weeks. So I want to make sure to save as much time as possible for you guys to answer any questions that you might have. And I know it's also kind of right in the heat of Father's Day sales. I hope everybody's Father's Day sales are going well. So if we're a little bit shorter today, then I want people to spend as much time um, doing things that are going to make you profitable as well. So, kind of wanted to cover some ideas on maybe some new products or niches that you may not have thought of. Basically, just some things that I've seen that has worked well this time of year throughout the years. I know that this time of year can get kind of that gap, especially kind of between Father's Day and Q4. Um, there's a gap there of expected sales between those two holidays, but there's really a lot of opportunities still there in between kind of those two events that I think if you start setting yourself up for now can pay off not only during that gap period, but then everything sells during Q4. So just continues to set you up for that. So wanted to start off just kind of going through a few products that maybe are, I guess I would say, not as popular for everybody. I'm sure there's some people on here now that probably has seen these products before, but some of them might be a little bit newer or might have a few ideas for you guys as well. So, and then we'll wrap up with any questions that you guys have. Of course, throughout the way, if you have any questions or want to see more about any of the products or anything that we're talking about, please feel free to leave a comment. Happy to dive in deeper on anything that we're looking at today. So, with that, let me get my screen set up here. Pull that over here. All right. And we'll go share screen. Okay, here we go. So looking at a few things for, like I said, this time of year and into kind of summer and early spring. The first one that I wanted to kind of point out is DecoPlate. We're going to have, I won't go too in detail on everything that they do. We're probably in another week or two. We're going to have do a live stream that's just going to be talking about DecoPlate and showing examples and talking about different things with them. But this is a great product line and works really well um, for Father's Day and even beyond. So it works really well for Father's Day, mainly because of the platters. Um, these get sold a lot during the Father's Day season, specifically because they can be used for like barbecue platters or dad's grilling plate or things of that nature. So they go really, really well for Father's Day. Um, the other big thing that you kind of have through this time period is kind of wedding season, or what they call wedding season, which also means there's a lot of anniversaries during that time. So I think there's some good niches there that you can capitalize on with the plates, again, that are offered by DecoPlate. This could work really well for the wedding niche, for or for like an anniversary plate or like a celebration plate, or a plate that they could use. You know, in the US, there's a big tradition of saving a slice of cake for your 1 year anniversary. So this could be a good thing that could be used for that as well. Um, the other thing that I really like about the DecoPlate products is that your competition is a bit lower because the manufacturer doesn't have a direct integration with Etsy or Shopify. So your competition on Etsy and even just kind of out there in general is a lot lower than it is on some other products. You know, everybody's selling the t-shirts and the mugs and a lot of that type of stuff. But this product is has really good profit margins, and your competition looks pretty good on them as well. So, like, if we come over to our Etsy analyzer here, and let's just do a search for, um, let's try barbecue platter here. And really, the data I'm about to show you here, this is lagging just a little bit because this is data over the last 30 days. And really, we're just kind of starting to come into the peak Father's Day selling season, which is where these types of designs really take off. Um, but you can see there's a few here that are doing really, really well. So I would suggest taking a look at this. If you use eRank or something like that, you know, take a look there as well on how these are selling. They're a great product and something I would recommend taking a look at. We also will have a few new items from DecoPlate when we do that live stream in a couple of weeks that I was talking about. There's a couple of products that I think will work really well as like party plates or like wedding party plates or reception plates that'll actually hold a drink and like a little appetizer plate. Um, so I'm excited for those two once we get those added within the next couple weeks, hopefully. That'll be another one to take a look at. So if you don't have an account with them, I would recommend setting up an account. It can take a little bit to get all that set up. So if you are interested in selling with them, I would recommend getting that account set up with them so you're ready to go to be able to capitalize on that. Obviously, there's lots of products with some of the bigger ones, Printify, Custom Cat, Shine On, any of those. Obviously, there's some really good ones there, and we can dive into some of those as well. Kind of the other thing that I would look at are some of the laser engraved items that are available with Key Launch. So there's a lot of stuff. Obviously, with Father's Day, that's more male gifting period. So predominantly with Etsy, your buyers on Etsy are generally female. But I think this time of year, like I said, with Father's Day, and then even getting into some more kind of outdoor type holiday seasons between sports, and 4th of July and all that sort of stuff. Those are also uh, uh, do very well with, I guess, what I would kind of say is male focused gifts. Um, uh, Sabrina, the one we were just talking about, they're not necessarily new and not new to us. We've had them for a little while, but that is Decoplate here. So if you want to check them out, I would recommend doing that. I won't go into everything that I've already said. You can catch the replay if you want to catch any of that. So some of the things that I would be looking at from T launch, um, cutting boards are good. Again, you can kind of do some similar Father's Day focused designs. They have some really cool. Let's see, I think they call them a beverage holder. I always have to remember what each different company. Some people call them a beverage holder. You can't call them a koozie because it's trademarked. So everyone has a little bit different. Sometimes it's beverage holder, beverage cooler. So anyway, these are really nice. I really like these because they are laser engraved. There's not too many print on demand places that do laser engraved. T Launch is probably the bigger one. We have a couple others that do some laser engraving that we're hoping to bring on in the next few months. But laser engraved items do really well this time of year. This obviously works well because you're kind of in that outdoor sports party, football, tailgating type of season. So I think there's a lot of niches there that you could do that these would work really, really well for. I really like the idea of both of these two, the football and basketball beverage holder. So these are laser engraved leather, but the leather is like the texture of a football or of a basketball. So being able to do these for like tailgating parties seems like it could be a huge win there. Especially if you could, so like any of these, I would be trying to think of things where there's going to be like groups of people. So family reunions this time of year, lots of family reunions have drinks and things of that nature. So, being able to do family reunion designs on any of these beverage holders, I think could be really, really well. So you've got get that back up. You've got the football and basketball. And then you also have the just kind of plain leather that come in different colors. So I think any of those would work really, really well for this kind of time of year and season. Um, let's see, what else did T Launch have that I wanted to talk about? Golf towels, we're kind of into golfing season. That could do really well. Um, Cutting boards, I like any of the cutting boards. Again, you're in that kind of laser engraving area. I think those also make really good, like wedding gifts or anniversary gifts or, things like that, where you could even do some like monogram type designs. Monograms do really, really well on lasered items and it gives it a really cool effect. So those could do well for like anniversary presents and things like that. Let me see here. So I'm not just scrolling through all of them. Let me look at the categories. So they've got a lot of the general clothing. Um, they're acrylic. If you didn't check the video by Ronnie, he posted on doing some acrylic. They have engraved acrylic with a lighted up LED stand. Um, that is a very cool product as well. T Launch is a great company. Yes. Yeah, they seem to do really well. So we're talking about T Launch here right now. Um, let's see. So we already talked on the cutting boards. These coasters are a little bit new, but they're a cool design as well, or product as well. I like those. I was thinking, maybe not. think that pretty well covers some of my thoughts on T-Launch. And with any of these, I know some of you guys have been using some of these suppliers for a really long time. So feel free to leave in the comments as well if there's anything that you have seen that you think works well or whatever. Feel free to chime in there as well. The other one that I think could do well is in tech accessories, the speakers. So being able to have, again, people are outdoors a lot looking for more portable Bluetooth type of speakers. I think there's some designs that could do well on some speakers as well. That could be pretty cool. Okay. Any questions on T-Launch or Deco Plate before we look at a few more things here? We'll probably look at a few more products. I'm thinking maybe we'll go a half hour kind of looking at products and some ideas on niches, and then we'll open up to just a general Q&A for everybody. About acrylics, how can we create a nice mock-up besides the ones given? Is there any tricks on Photopea when using white text? So I think so. Besides T-Launch, I know we were just looking at some of the engraved acrylics from T-Launch. There are also Shine-On acrylics that do well, and Shine-On has a wooden base, which is pretty nice. And then they also have the LED option that you can use kind of as an upsell. So you can do just the basic wood, or you can do the LED option. Both of them, T-Launch and Shine-On, offer more than just one standard mock-up. So with T-Launch, when you build a product, you should get um, T-Launch should just give you all of the mockups that they have available. When you build the product, go to select mockups; they should all be there. With Shine-On, just above the first mockups that's generated, there's a button that says Add Images. Actually, here I can probably let's go. This is just a test product, but you can see right here above the mockup. If you go to Add Images, if you have multiple artwork on here, you can select which one, and then you can select the mockups you want. So their mockup selection is, they've got quite a few. And then if you want to build the same mockups every time, if you check this box here at the top, then every time, in this case, I built a square acrylic, I would get that same selection automatically generated for me every time. Be nice to create something different like other successful Etsy sellers. So what you could do in that case is take one of these, like this one here, that's just a plain basic background, generate that, and then kind of create your own onto a background. Or you can also look at for Shine-On, you can look at Canto. Sometimes they have some different mockups in there that you can get that are Photoshop, that you can do Photoshop or Photopea. And then I would also check Etsy for additional mockups. Sometimes people sell as a digital file, will sell mockups in there. Those are the two places that I would kind of look to see what might be available. Yeah, there you go. Yep. Canto. That's always a good resource for Shine-On. I'd never bookmark it, but if you search for Shine-On Canto, it's usually this first link here at the top. And then you can come in here and go into any of the product photos, and they have it broken out per product, and you can get additional mockups that way. Yeah. So if probably the best thing there, Cheryl, if you want to drop a note to support, that would probably be best. Down here in the bottom right, there's a contact us. Fill that out. Let us know what you're having trouble with, and we can help out. because when you say store, I'm not sure if you're talking about one of your vendor accounts or Shopify or Etsy. Um, with Shopify, you really just need to install our Shopify app, and it kind of walks you through the process. If you need help with that, we're more than happy to help out. And then with Etsy, it's really just a click of a button, and you're able to get things set up there. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, Tiffany says tons of stuff in Canto. That is a really good resource for Shine On if you're ever looking for anything there. Okay, so I guess while we're on the topic of Shine On, I think most people here are familiar with Shine On and a lot of stuff that they have. So I won't go into too much detail, but couldn't pass up on what they have because they have some really good products, um, and have been expanding. I'm sure, as most of you know. So they do have a men's DTD jacket. Let's see. I think the some of their towels, like sports towel, beach towels, kind of getting into that whole outdoor towel season. Those could do really well. Um, on their printed metal art, Michael actually did a video not too long ago about using that as actually like garden sign, that I think was on their Facebook group. That was a really interesting take on that product, and could be something really nice to try this time of year. Um, Most of you are familiar with their jewelry. Of course, the jewelry won't be available on won't be available. Most of it is not available if you're only selling on Etsy. So keep that in mind. We've already talked about how they do acrylics. Um, they have journals, which are really nice. Um, uh, Woven blanket. So they have a woven blanket, comes in one size. That is a really nice product. We've had woven blankets on Anywhere POD for a long time, and really like the product. I've had several samples, and think it's a great heirloom quality product that does really well. That if you haven't focused on that yet, it's worth checking out. Um, there is on the topic of mock-ups, there is a mock-up pack that's created by a company called Createsy, that does probably the best job that I've seen with woven mock-ups, where their mock-ups in Photoshop will actually do color correction, because this product isn't a printed product; it's a woven product. So the thread is actually dyed and woven into whatever your design is. So you're limited on the color range a little bit more. You're not going to get the real bright, vibrant colors, because it's actually dyed fabric. So um, that's something to keep in mind when you're designing for those. Um, yeah, so it is Createsy. So create. So it's just createsy.com. And let me see, I can probably drop this into the chat here. They have a few different ones, like this product's also part of a bundle. I'll drop this into chat so you guys all have it here though. We also have them working on mock-ups for some other woven products, which I'll talk about those other woven products in just a minute. So there's another question here. Uh, yes. So Cheryl, I would recommend watching the replay in Ecom Family. If you search through um, your membership with Ecom Family, or even in the group for Anywhere POD, you should be able to get a link to that. Or if you want to drop a note to support, we can send you a link that we have saved. Again, to connect your store, I see you said you're on Shopify. You just need to go install our Shopify app. So when you're on your dashboard in Anywhere POD, If you click on Connect under Shopify, that will take you straight to the Shopify app where you can get that installed. All right. What journal slash notebook provider do you recommend? So there's a few different ones you can go with. Um, the ones by Shine-On are unique. They're like a printed leather on the front. Printify also has several different ones. So this is one of the nice things with Anywhere POD. If you want to look at what providers, even if you're not connected to them, you can check the box over here on the left, and then under journals and notebooks, I can see obviously the desk plant probably is in the wrong category here, but then you can scroll through and see who has what. So I know that T-Launch has some notebooks. I'm not sure who their provider is for those, but generally, I assume that when I know that T-Launch is closely connected with District Photo now. So if it's a product that District Photo carries and T-Launch is selling it, it's probably a good bet that they are the ones that are doing the fulfillment. Um, but District Photo's popular. Harrier is actually District Photo's international branch. Um, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, here's the one from District Photo straight from inside of Printify. So it really kind of depends what you're looking for. All these are, there's, a lot of them are a little bit different. But District Photo in general has been good. T-Launch is a good choice. And then the graphic journal from Shine-On is a really nice product as well. All right. Okay, so the other one I wanted to talk about was MWW On Demand. Um, they have some very unique products. When we first launched with them, we only carried their woven products. That was kind of one of the main reasons why we integrated with them. We've expanded the catalog a little bit since then, but primarily still focused on the woven products. So the nice thing here on the woven products, they have the woven throw blanket in three different sizes. So you can get the 52 by 37, 60 by 50, or the 80 by 60 in those. I will say right now, the mock-ups that are generated inside of Anywhere POD are not very good. So I would definitely recommend using the CreateC mockups if you're looking to use them. MWW doesn't supply any mockups at all. And the mockups that we have honestly are not the best. That's the other reason why we reached out for the other woven products that you see here. We actually reached out to CreateC and were able to get some samples sent to them, and they are actually working on mockups for all of these other items. So they have a woven pillow, a woven tote, woven wall tapestry, and then the one that I really like and I'm really excited for CreateC to get the mockups done for, because I think there is a huge opportunity for this, because not many people have been able to sell this effectively, largely because of the mockups, and that is the woven poncho. I think those could do really well this Q4 if we're able to get those mockups back from CreateC. So I'm excited to get those in. And then down here at the bottom, not to confuse this printed woven throw. This is one where the woven throw is printed is woven, the throw is woven, and then the design is actually printed on top. So it's the same weaving process, but the design is printed, so you don't have the same color limitations that I spoke to you about before. So that's the other nice thing with CreateC mockups, and especially once we get the other mockups from them with these other products. Um, they will all have the color correction built into their Photoshop files. which is a huge plus to make sure that your mock-ups are accurate. Um, does the graphic journal from Shine On have vivid colors? Yeah, so it's like a full color. Uh, go back to Shine On here. So you can see here, I mean, it's a full color print, um, that's very nice. So it is full color, so you should be good on that one. Okay. Besides that, obviously, I know um, Printify has tons of products. Some of the things here that do. Oh, one of the things that I forgot to talk about before I go on to Printify. Um, what category are these in? Yeah, these sports balls. So tennis balls, and they've got football. All these are like printed balls. Um, So I think these could do really, really well again this time of year where things are getting into the sports season. Being able to use those even as like MVP prizes at the end of the year, or with the kids like name and number on the ball to kind of commemorate the sports year, any of that kind of stuff. I think those could do really, really well. So on a lot of these, they have the mini and then the full size versions of those. So they are a pretty cool product that I would check out as well. Um, Printify, I think everybody's pretty well familiar with them. What made me think of the T launch balls is I knew that Printify has, I think they are, uh, yeah, ping pong balls, golf balls. I think these golf balls could do really well this time of year. Um, So, I mean, there's tons and tons of products on Printify. I would look at some of the less popular categories that maybe you haven't checked out before in the past. Um, they're heavy on obviously apparel and all stuff that everybody's used to selling all the time. But you know, things like these golf balls, I think could do really well. I think they also have, yeah, they've got some Bluetooth speakers here as well that I think could do really well. Um, there's another one here, so several options there with them as well that I think could do really, really well. Um, Thanks, Tiffany. Yeah, she's saying that a sample with lots of purples, and it turned out really well. So I believe that's in reference to the vivid colors on the Shine On journals. So very, very cool with that. All right, guys. What questions do you guys have? I guess anything in general, either products that we covered today or anything to do with Anywhere POD in general. Um, Please feel free to leave those in the comments. I think that covers um, kind of what I wanted to catch up with everybody on today. Um, but want to make sure to have enough time to answer any of your questions that we can answer as well. So Um, so Sabrina is asking, when I create an iPhone case, I have to upload a variation of the design for each model with a specific size. Is there a fast way to do it, or just one by one? So that really kind of depends. So you don't necessarily have to upload um, a different size for each model. So the way it works in Anywhere POD, when you design for any product that has multiple variations, they can take different artwork sizes. The initial design size that you get in Anywhere POD that you'll be designing for is going to be the largest variant size. Um, That way, if it scales down to other sizes, it's able to, not lose any quality. So a really good example of that is on blankets. So um, on blankets, the 30 by 40 and 60 by 80, those are in the same aspect ratio. So you first design for the 60 by 80, that's going to scale down no problem to the 30 by 40, and is going to look great. But there's that 50 by, what is it 50 by 60 size in the middle? That's a different aspect ratio. So that means that your design is going to lay out a little bit differently and may not look correct on the top and the bottom, depending on your design. In that case, you're going to want to upload or create a different size design for that middle sized blanket. And I'm happy to walk through any examples with this if you need to as well. So it's kind of the same thing with the phone cases. If it's a pattern on the back and all of your mock-ups look good and you're good with all of it, you don't need to upload a design for every single model. You only need to do that if maybe you have some design elements around the camera, or you need a different layout for each phone size because it is a different size. Um, Yes. So again, that goes back to, it depends on your design, and if it's just a pattern, or if you're doing something, if it's a pattern with a name, any of that type of stuff, you usually don't have to upload different sizes for. But otherwise, yes, unfortunately, you do need to just go through the different sizes and upload the ones that you need. Um, Maria asked, does Anywhere POD work with other websites like WordPress? So we do not automatically work with WordPress yet. Right now, our integrations are with Etsy, Shopify, and Orderdesk. Um, Orderdesk setup is a little bit more involved than it is with other platforms. We do plan to expand into WordPress in the future, and be able to support WooCommerce. But right now, we do not have an integration with them yet. All right. What other questions do you guys have, or do you need to see an example of anything on that phone situation, Sabrina? Would be happy to walk through anything there as well if you have any questions. Some of the things you guys should be seeing. Um, when creating a variant, the name we type under size is here on Etsy as a variant. Yeah. So let me show you that here real quick. So everything here is edible. So size, color, and everything underneath of it. So obviously in this case, this is acrylic, so I can change that to base. And if I wanted to change this to just be LED base, for example, I could do that. And now when this gets published over to Etsy, I'm going to have just the option of base with two options underneath of it, either wooden base or LED base. So I'm able to change that to anything I want. Same with size. I can change the title of my field to anything that I want, and then I can also put in anything that I want as well. So it's completely free form to be able to make any of those updates that you need to. This comes in really handy, especially if you're doing design variations, maybe with number of kids. So if you want them to be able to select between 1 and 5 kids, so that the personalized names can move around on the design to be able to fit correctly, depending on how many kids they select. After you add the variant, you can come in here and make those changes to be able to support that very easily. Um, so this changing this will be automatic. Um, this will automatically set your variant drop downs in Etsy to whatever you see here, whether you have personalization, even if it's not a personalized design. you can do this. So if you're wanting to sell a product that's not personalized, but they have a choice between two different graphics that they can use, you can combine both of those into one listing with Anywhere POD and not have to manually change anything. So this is kind of adding a layer of personalization directly to the variant fields, outside of whether you have personalization turned on, or if they even use uh, or if they even enter anything into that personalization field. Um, to enable live preview for Shopify, do I have to create a new template via the mockup templates section per product? So no, not mockup templates. What you will do is come in here to enable live preview. A few weeks ago, we kind of did a deep dive on this. If you write into support, I can send you the timestamp of where we started talking about creating these. In this case, we already have a system preview available. If we didn't, there would be a button up here where you could request us to add a live preview, and then we could get that added for you. Or you can come in here and create your own template. This template's reusable. So that means if I create one for, say, this square acrylic plaque, and then I could reuse that same template on other square acrylic plaques in the future without having to recreate the whole entire thing. Hopefully that answers your question. If it doesn't, let me know and I can expand on that further for you. I'm confused on how to use DecoPlate if it doesn't connect to Shopify stores. So any of the vendors that we have, you don't have to have them installed on your Shopify store to be able to use them because you're using them through Anywhere POD. So we have the integration with DecoPlate, and we have an integration with Shopify. So you will connect your DecoPlate account to your Anywhere POD account. It's very, very easy to set up for DecoPlate. So you'll connect that with DecoPlate and then build your products in Anywhere POD. We'll automatically create, mockup. You get a basic mockup for any of the products with DecoPlate, and then you publish that product to your Shopify store. When you get an order, it comes into Anywhere POD. If it's personalized, we do the same personalized magic that we do with everything else. If it's not personalized, it can just go straight off to production. In any case, when it's ready to be produced, we send it off to DecoPlate for production. They print, pack, and ship. We get the tracking number, and then we update your Shopify store with the tracking number. So it's a very similar process to any of the other providers that we have. It's just they don't have that direct connection, but with Anywhere POD, you don't need that direct connection either. So back to the questions on the variants. So yes, I mean this is going to be dependent on your design and your product. Um, but you get two variation fields in Etsy. Um, by default, they're named size and color, but you can rename them to whatever you want. So in this case, if I was doing a design where they could pick from the number of kids, I would change this one to like number of kids. And if this was my first design, maybe I put a one here. And then as I add more variants and I add a design for two and for three and for four and for five, I can add those right here to the variant section so that the customer is able to select that while they're purchasing. Hopefully that clears that up a little bit. Um, any tips on clip art besides so that when we change hairstyles and such, they don't shift? Should we try not to? So normally when it is shifting, it is because your clip art files that you've uploaded, the hairstyles themselves are not the correct size. So even if my files are the same size, if I have my hairstyle inside, um, and inside of that file, I have my hair and the rest of it's transparent, right? But if my different hairstyles get wider or aren't in the same position within the file, that can cause an issue. So the easiest way to do that is in Photoshop or something like that. Open up all of your files, add in some guidelines for where the hairstyles should be located, drop in one of your example bodies, and then you can go through each one and resize it so that it fits and it is laid out in the exact same manner. What about clip art? Are they seen on Etsy? I always include a listing photo when there's options for art. Yes, that is what you should do. So they do not see a live preview on Etsy just because of Etsy and the nature of Etsy. Um, so if you search around on Etsy for other people doing similar designs, you'll see oftentimes one of the um, mock-up images is going to be a list of all the different clip art options with like a name for it underneath. That name is what they'll enter in the personalization field. It doesn't have to, but it's also best if that name matches the clip art name that you have set in Anywhere POD. That'll kind of help to automate the process, but it's not necessarily a requirement. Um, so that's the best way to set those up. Um, Yeah, a good example on that would be like for birth flowers, right? So you've got 12 birth flowers. Um, it's good to have a mock-up image that shows the flower and what type of flower it is, and then what month you have it assigned to. Because there's some people that may be buying the design and they're buying a birth flower design, but they don't like the flower for December, and their kid's favorite flower is a rose. So they're going to pick the rose instead and actually select a different month. So you want to make sure to have all that information available to your customer as they're purchasing. Yes, it is similar to creating a mockup template, except it's kind of separated, so you're able to upload a background. If we have a few minutes at the end here, which we might, I could probably run through a quick example. But you basically just upload your background image. Um, Optionally, you can upload a mask. So if you're doing something that's circular, like a circle ornament or something like that, you're going to want to upload a mask so it kind of clips it out the way that it needs to be. Um, and then it's just a matter of placing your artwork. So it is kind of similar to the mockup templates, except you have a little bit more freedom on the mockup templates just because of the nature of it. Um, So if I'm ready to start, I will connect my store to the apps and go through you to design and publish. Yeah, so you'll want to, the process would be, again, it depends on where you're selling, either Etsy or Shopify. Sounds like probably you're on Shopify. So in which case you will create um, install the Shopify app on your Shopify store, get all that set up, and then you'll connect to the providers that you want. So you'll see here under each one, there's a little connect button here. If you don't have an account with any of them, there's a button where you can, or a link, they'll take you to create an account. And then each one's going to have a list of instructions on how to get set up with them and how to kind of make that connection. Some of them you'll also see will have a little video that'll walk you through the process as well. Um, so once you have Anywhere POD connected to your Shopify store, then you build products inside of Anywhere POD. If you're new and just starting out, when you first log in, it should play for you anyway, but there's a nice little overview video here. Um, I would recommend checking that out. That kind of walks through the whole process, start to finish, and walks through a quick example of everything for you as well. And then we have additional videos on our YouTube channel. We're always happy to help as well. So please don't hesitate. If you get stuck on anything, please feel free to reach out to customer support, again, down here in the bottom right. And we can also do a one-on-one onboarding call with you if you feel like that would kind of help jumpstart getting things created for you as well. We're happy to do that for you too. Um, can we upload a frame mask on Anywhere POD to reuse to upload the customer photo? Um, Not really to reuse right now, but you don't necessarily have to upload a separate. And when you say mask here, let me just jump into an example here. Let me think here. Yeah, yeah, that's fine. So if I'm in the builder here and I upload an image, and let me just find one here like this. I then say I want this cropped to a specific shape. I can come down here to personalize. You can see here that image cropper is already enabled when I hit personalize. So what that'll do is without doing anything else, um, it's going to crop to whatever the shape of my original image was. So if instead of uploading a rectangle image here, if I already uploaded my image that I wanted to use in the shape of a heart, say I'm designing in Canva and I've already got my heart there that I used a frame inside of Canva for, I can just download that heart by itself and upload that to Anywhere POD, and I don't need to have a second image to be able to crop to that shape. But in this case, I do. So then I can come into crop to custom shape, and I can just select my art image here. And it'll come up, ask let me crop it to that area and select. And then it's set. So I'm assuming that's what you mean by mask. So if you do want to do this as a second image, there's nowhere to upload it in Anywhere POD where that can be reusable. But really, the easiest way to do photo uploads is to just have the image already in the shape that you want it to be in, and then all you need to do is upload the image like a regular image, and you're all set and good to go with it. Alrighty, guys. Any other questions at all? Last call for questions here. Alrighty, looks like we got everything covered. So I'll let everybody kind of get back to work. Thank you for taking the time to join today. If you are using our Shopify app, please go to the Shopify App Store and leave us a review. We'd be honored to receive an honest review from you guys. That would be very helpful to us. Um, oh, saw a couple last minute questions here. You guys made it in just in time. Uh, yeah, so that's Sabrina's asking if we can do more tutorials on how to create products. Generally, that's what we do with these live stream calls. So we'll probably go back to that format. If in the meantime there's anything that you want to see or you have ideas that you'd like to see done in on these live streams, please send those over to us. We're always looking for ideas and getting them from you guys our best to make sure that we're covering what it is that you guys would like to see. Uh, what is the best way to multiply products if you have a product done with mockups and information? Can you speed up the process? The absolute fastest way to do that is with the bulk uploader. So, or clone. But bulk uploader is usually faster, even if you're only doing one design. So I almost kind of want to think of a new name for the bulk uploader than bulk uploader because it can really be used um, even if you just have one design. So if I come in here and go to bulk upload and hit choose files, I don't have to select more than one file. I can just select one file and it'll go through and replace the artwork for me and create that for me. The nice thing with doing that is it's going to automatically generate all of the mockups for me. My title, my tags, my description, everything is going to, automatically be there for me. The other option that you can do is to clone this product. And then after you clone the product, then you can come in and upload your artwork and replace those individually. Um, that process is not quite as good at automatically generating all of the mockups for you like it does from the bulk uploader. So generally, the bulk uploader is going to be your fastest way to create new products. When do you use the bulk upload? Yeah, so bulk uploader is going to give you the same product, but allow you to apply a different design. Um, so we do have a video on our YouTube channel on how to use the bulk uploader. That demo that we have on our channel that walks through, I think uploading 5 or 6 different images at once. But like I said, you can do it just with one image. So if you're just wanting to create one single product, the fastest way is going to come into your existing product, hit bulk upload, upload the design. It's going to create the design. It's going to give you the same mockups selected. It's going to give you the tags and everything else that you have set up on it. So um, that's definitely the fastest way, in my opinion, to create new products. All right, everybody. Thank you for taking an hour out of your Thursday to join me. Hopefully, this was helpful for everybody. And if you guys have any questions throughout the week, please feel free to send it in to support, and we're happy to help. Alrighty. Thanks a lot, everybody. Take care.